Now, Deshaun Diddy Combs, looking to suppress evidence in his federal trial. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky is back with the story. Good morning again, Aaron.
And to you, Michael. You'll remember federal agents from Homeland Security investigations were hardly shy when they raided Sean Combs' opulent homes in Los Angeles and Miami, guns drawn. The jailed music mogul now argues those searches and other searches of his iCloud accounts, electronic devices, and New York City hotel room. His lawyers argue evidence obtained through those searches must be suppressed. Diddy's lawyers say the government presented a grossly distorted picture of reality when applying for the search warrants. Holmes has pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. The defense is also arguing here his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, was a willing participant in drug-fueled sex performances called freak-offs.
Sean Puffy Combs, I don't sleep to this day. I have a problem sleeping to this day. Like, yo, man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't sang in a week. I mean, I'm 13 years old, and I'm telling him, look, you're gonna put me in the studio, man. You got Biggie Smalls in there, you got Craig Mack in there. I'm not here to party with you. I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? We would fight, we would tussle.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
He thought money, fame, and lawyers would be enough to silence everyone, but the courtroom says otherwise. For decades, Sean Diddy Combs ruled the music industry like a king, untouchable, larger than life, surrounded by luxury and loyalists, but now the empire he built is crumbling in real time. Once protected by his wealth and connections, Diddy finds himself facing a mountain of legal challenges, damning video evidence, and an exodus of attorneys fleeing his case. This isn't just another celebrity scandal. It's a complete implosion of power, secrecy, and silence. What started as whispers behind closed doors has exploded into a courtroom drama with implications far beyond one man. Every motion he files is being denied. Every attempt to bury the truth is backfiring.
Yeah, man, Faith Evans, Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, they didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time, you know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
what
like a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And the one thing he thought would never surface, a brutal hotel hallway video, has now become the cornerstone of a trial that could define the end of an era. But before that bombshell dropped, federal agents made the first move, and it wasn't subtle. It started with federal agents storming Diddy's multi-million-dollar homes in Los Angeles and Miami. Guns drawn, no warning. Homeland Security didn't just knock, they raided, seizing electronics, hard drives, and documents. The images were surreal, one of the richest men in entertainment, surrounded by chaos as agents tore through his empire looking for answers. But Diddy didn't just accept the fallout, he fought back. His legal team filed a motion to suppress nearly all the evidence obtained during the raids. They argued the searches were unconstitutional, that the warrants were based on exaggerated claims and hearsay from a so-called producer. According to Diddy's team, the government was building a narrative instead of seeking the truth. But prosecutors hit back hard, stating the raids were not only legal, they were necessary because what they found wasn't just shocking, it was incriminating. But the most devastating blow wasn't hidden on a hard drive. It was already circulating, courtesy of CNN.
Some documents have leaked about Usher. They were obtained by Radar Online, and apparently back in 2009 or 2010, he had contracted herpes and passed it on to a celebrity stylist having unprotected sex with her. He had to pay $1.1 million to that woman for severe emotional distress.
A leaked video dated March 5, 2016 showed what prosecutors described as a violent assault. Diddy could be seen throwing objects, dragging Cassie Ventura by her hair, and screaming at her in a hotel hallway. The footage was brutal, raw, public, undeniable. His attorneys immediately cried foul. They argued the video had been tampered with, sped up, and taken out of context. They even accused CNN of editing it to make Diddy look worse and claimed the original had been destroyed. But CNN pushed back, saying they had the original and that it hadn't been altered. Diddy's team filed a motion to exclude the footage from the trial. The judge's response: motion denied. That video was going to the jury, and it wasn't the only thing that would be. That video wasn't the only thing that surfaced. Federal agents discovered recordings, dozens of them, allegedly showing what insiders called freak-offs. These weren't just parties. Prosecutors alleged they were orchestrated sex trafficking events involving drugs, coercion, and cameras. The tapes were labeled, cataloged, and stored like trophies. Diddy's defense team claimed the footage was obtained illegally.
Good morning again, Aaron.
And to you, Michael, you'll remember federal agents from Homeland Security Investigations were hardly shy when they raided Sean Combs' opulent homes in Los Angeles and Miami, guns drawn. The jailed music mogul now argues those searches and other searches of his iCloud accounts, electronic devices, and New York City hotel room.
They argued that what happened in private was consensual and sensationalized, but the judge ruled the evidence admissible. Every tape, every second, and what's on those videos isn't just damaging, it's explosive. Former employees hinted that these gatherings were part of a much bigger operation, one that Diddy didn't just attend, he orchestrated. And then the legal fortress Diddy had built for decades began to collapse. One by one, his lawyers walked away. Attorney Anthony Rico filed to withdraw, stating he could no longer represent Diddy under any circumstances. That's legal code for, I've seen what's in that evidence and I want no part of it. His longtime law firm, Grubman, Shire, Marcellus, and Sachs, dropped him too, ending a 20-year relationship. Rumors swirled that even Lady Gaga threatened to leave the firm if they didn't cut ties. When your most powerful connections begin walking away, it's not just a legal crisis, it's a reputation death spiral. And the public hadn't even seen the worst of it yet.
Combs wants that video or videos excluded from trial. And for that, we turn to his motion in limine to exclude video footage of that March 5th, 2016 incident. Motion in limine is a pretrial motion that aims at preventing evidence from coming into trial.
But it wasn't just lawyers who started backing away. The public began to take another look at old footage, especially involving a young Usher. Years ago, Diddy claimed he mentored the teenage singer by letting him live in his house. But now clips are resurfacing where Diddy casually jokes about sharing a bed with Usher, talking about waking up together and eating Frosted Flakes. At the time, it was brushed off as eccentricity. Today it reads much darker. Usher later confirmed that he stayed with Diddy as a teen, attended adult parties, and saw things he didn't fully understand. Prosecutors now say Usher may be called to testify, not as a victim, but as someone who can confirm the culture that existed behind Diddy's closed doors. That revelation triggered a chain reaction. Suddenly, everything about Usher's later controversies, from lawsuits over STDs to rumors of reckless behavior, began to look like fallout from something much deeper. Former insiders like Gene Deal and Jaguar Wright came forward, claiming Diddy's parties weren't just wild, they were dangerous. They allege underage guests, drugs, and surveillance were all part of a calculated system. Prosecutors now argue this wasn't a one-time scandal, it was a pattern. A decades-long cycle of grooming, coercion, and silence. With every new witness, the picture becomes clearer. And the freak-off tapes, they weren't just evidence. They were a documentation of a system built to protect predators and punish anyone who spoke out. And just when you thought the witness list couldn't get more unexpected, Ashton Kutcher's name entered the mix.
Starts by saying, quote, "There is no longer any dispute that the CNN footage from March 5th, 2016 at the Intercontinental Hotel offered by the government at 3 separate bail hearings is wholly inaccurate, having been altered, manipulated, sped up, and edited to be out of sequence."
Insiders say Kutcher attended some of the same parties, and while he's not a victim, he may testify about what he saw. Kutcher, who's worked on campaigns against human trafficking, is said to have been deeply disturbed by what he witnessed. His testimony could confirm the victims' stories, or at least the culture of silence that surrounded them. Suddenly, this isn't just about Diddy, it's about an industry, a network, a machine that allowed this to happen. The people once too famous to question are now part of the evidence, and the courtroom is starting to feel more like a reckoning than a trial. In a last-ditch effort, Diddy's team rolled out a controversial claim that the entire prosecution was racially motivated. They argued that the system was targeting a powerful black man, but the argument collapsed almost immediately. Many of the victims, including Cassie, are also black. Several prosecutors are too. Identity politics didn't sway the courtroom. This wasn't about race. It was about unchecked power, broken lives, and an industry that protected predators until it couldn't anymore. The judge dismissed the argument and pushed forward. Because of the facts, the footage, and the growing number of accusers, one thing was clear: this was no witch hunt. It was overdue justice. Now, with every legal strategy failing, the walls are closing in. Diddy's request to delay the trial by 2 months was flatly denied. Jury selection is underway. The videos are admissible. The psychiatric defense was thrown out. And worst of all for him, Cassie is testifying in person. No pseudonym, no anonymity. When she takes the stand, she won't just be speaking for herself. She'll be opening the floodgates. Victims 2, 3, 4, they're all waiting to tell their stories. And with rumors of more celebrities involved, this trial could bring down more than just one man. It could expose an entire era of corruption, control, and cruelty. Because this isn't just the fall of Diddy, it's the unraveling of everything he built to keep the truth buried.